The reason is that it is very thin in nature, bone, which can cause the temporal bone to be ruptured, and temporal part of the brain is also been damaged, where temporal vein drainage of the superficial parietal gland, facial or choroid tympanic, or all these have been related with that. Whatever structures which are present in the temporal region, mainly they get damaged, and that leads to the death of the person immediately, as Agniguna predominant is there. Next is Matruka. The word Matruka has got a lot of meanings are there. Matruka, Matru. 8 mothers of goddesses. Ashto Matruka. It has been also considered as Ashto Matruka, means 8 mothers of goddesses. 8 mothers of goddesses are seen in Kathmandu city. They have been seen in the Kathmandu, in the Nepal. 8 goddesses are seen. They have temples in and around the Kathmandu city, the Nepal. And it is also source of mantra. They call it as it is a source of Matruka, means it is a source of a mantra. And it is a source of origin also. As the qualities of goddess or a mother, that which nourishes has to be considered in this particular concept. And it is a Sira Marma. It is 4 angula in Marma, area wise. Sadhya Pranahara Marma. Both the combination is Agneya. And the location where he has explained, Grivayam Ubhaya. Grivayam Ubhayata Chatasra Sira. Grivayam Ubhayata Chatasra Sira. Griva. There is a difference between Kanta and Griva. Kanta and Griva. Kanta means anterior part. Anterior part. Kanta means anterior part. Generally, Griva means the posterior part of the neck. So, where you can see the Krikatika Marma, Siro Grivaya Sandhane. Siro Grivayo Sandhane. The word what he has used is Siro Grivayo Sandhane. The head and the neck. It's not the throat, neck. That which is connected is called as Krikatika. So Griva is related with the posterior part. What it indicates, it is not directly in front of the throat. It is on the sides, almost to the back side of the throat region. Grivayam Ubhayataha. On the both sides of the Griva. It is not the Kanta. It is a Griva. But there is a Matruka, there is a Nilan Manyas, which he has explained. Tatra Kanta Nadi Mubhayataha. That is on Kanta Nadi Mubhayataha. Nila and Manya are present Kanta Nadi Mubhayataha. This is present in the Griva Mubhayataha. So it is slightly deeper in nature than the Nila and Manya. So it is not outer one. It is not external. It is not closely related to the external anterior part. It is slightly backwards of the neck region. Means deeper one. Where this internal and external carotid arteries can be considered. They are little more deeper one. External is slightly, which you can feel it, pulsate, but it is almost lateral side, slightly lateral to the neck region. It is not anterior to the. So those structures which are present on the lateral side and the back side can be considered as Matrukani. So internal and external carotid arteries can be considered here. Internal and external jugular veins can be considered. Along with that, vagus and phrenic nerves also been present, which are passing through this along with this itself. And you also have a carotid body which is present in this region itself, the carotid artery. So any injury to this may cause immediate death. This is one among the point where in the wrestling they used to hold the neck very tightly. Even this Matraka Marma is also been having pressure on that, which blocks the blood supply towards the head and neck region. It also blocks the windpipe, but windpipe, as it has a nature of cartilage nature, it may not be completely blocked. C-shaped cartilage. It is a C-shaped cartilage, and cartilage is mrudu asti. It is a mrudu asti. Basically, they get suffocated because of blood loss which is going towards the neck region. The vessels have been given more pressure than the Kantanadi, where the respiratory center can also be affected. So these marmas which are present on the both the sides of the neck region, not on the anterior side. Next is Guda marma. It is 1 in number. It is a Mansa marma as per Sushruta and Damani as per Vagbhata. It is Pramana wise, it is 4 angulas in Pramana, and it is injury wise, it is Pradho Pranahara, and being Agneya, more Rakta is related to this. It is Agneya related one. And Marma Desha, Tatra Vata Varcho Nirasanam. Tatra Vata Varcho Nirasanam. Stulantra Pratibadham, that which is connected to the Stulantra. Pratibadham, that which allows to pass the Vata and Varcha stool. The flatus and the stool which passes out, and that which is connected to the Stulantra. So the Stulantra is not related to this marma. So it can be related with the rectum part. Rectal part can be considered, or the anus and the rectal region can be considered with the Stulantra connecting to the sigmoid colon later thereon. Here, the sphincter ani, internus and externus, or the levator ani muscles, or the inferior rectal artery and the veins, and the rectal plexus of nerves. You have a lot of network around the rectal region. Even the nerves as well as blood vessels, both have been present. A strong network is present around the rectal region. That's why a person who is being affected by myocardial infarction, if he is having a constipation, doctor will advise definitely don't strain while you are going to pass stools. If stools are not passing, never strain. But if he strains at the time of that, if the motion is not free, and if he is straining a person of a myocardial infarction, there are more chances to have an immediate death of the person. And I have seen one patient when I was working in Kolhapur. I was working in cardiology department, and he went to the toilet, and we always advise to the patients of cardiac patient, whenever they don't go to toilet, don't lock the door. This is the reason. They will always insist, never lock the doors of cardiac patients when they go for the toilet, because if knowingly or unknowingly, if they strain, there are chances to have immediate collapse. And there is a direct connection which has impact on the cardiac region where immediate death occurs. So based on injury also, particularly when the surgeries which have been conducted on this rectal region, anus and rectal region, related to the piles or fistula, particularly when Kshara Sutra or any procedures have been conducted, surgical interventions have been conducted in this particular region, definitely you have to give the atropine injection has to be given so that there will be no chances to have a cardiac arrest. Otherwise, the local anesthesia would have been given, but still there are chances to have stimulate the vagus nerve, which can cause sudden death of the person. Sudden cardiac arrest can cause if it is not managed in a proper way. So Gudamarma, it is a Mamsamarma. Only when injury occurs, main is causing is that loss of blood is been there, which leads to the death of the person. And Hridaya Marma, it is no doubt, irrespective of doubt, it is location has been explained here. Very interesting in this. He has clearly explained in the context of Marma where the Hridaya is located. Because there are other places where he has explained about the Hridaya, about its shape and all. Pundarekana sadrisham sadadhomukam Jagrudasu vikasate sopadasya nimenata, which has been explained in the 4th chapter, Garbhavyakarana Sharira. But there he has not explained about the location, but in the context of Marma, he has explained the location of Marma. So where location is clearly explained, Stanayor Madhyam Adhishtayo Urasya Amashaya Dwaram Satvarajastamo Adhishtanam. Satvarajastamo Adhishtanam. This is the place where Sattva and Rajas are the Adhishtana. And Tatra Sadhyo Maranam. Injury occurs, immediate death occurs. Sattva Rajas Tamo Adhishtanam. So the location wise, it is Thanayor Madhyam. It is located between both the sthanas. Stanayor Madhyam Adhishtayor Purasya Amashaya Dwaram. Purasya Amashaya Dwaram. It is situated at the Amashaya Dwaram. So that's the reason, if you look at into the stomach, we have a cardiac notch. The esophagus, which is connected to the stomach, you have a fundus of the stomach, upward movement. The gap, which is called, we call it as a cardiac notch. The notch is called as cardiac notch. So that Amashaya Dwaram, that is closely related to the stomach. Just below the diaphragm, it is connected to this Amashaya Dwaram, related to the Amashaya. That is the reason any gastric symptoms will always reflect as cardiac symptoms. Or sometimes it may be cardiac symptoms, you may feel it as a gastric symptoms only. Most of the time, we get confused, is it cardiac or is it gastric, pure gastric? Because I have seen a patient in Kolhapur only when I was working. He just came with burning sensation only. He was not having any other symptom. No sweating, no severe pain in the chest region, heavy pain in the chest region, nothing. He was just having a burning sensation in the chest region. So doctor thought he's a young guy, 35 years age only. So doctor, he never suspected that he can have and he doesn't have any bad habits. No smoking, no drinking, nothing. But still he was just having a burning sensation in the chest region. And the doctor he gave an antacid and he sent him. Immediately within 2 hours, again he was being rushed back to the hospital with a shock condition. At that time, severe sweating was there, heavy pain was there, patient was not in a conscious state, where it has been affected the marma of Hridaya Marma, which mimics as a gastric symptom itself. That's why it is considered as Amashaya Dwaram. It is related to the Amashaya Dwara. There is a connection between this stomach and heart. The phrenic nerve is also been connected with the diaphragm and heart. The vagus nerve is connected with the heart and amasya. As vagus nerve is also supplying to the heart, vagus nerve also supplies to the stomach also. So there is always we get confused. The best criteria is that just go for an ECG and a blood test for find out the CPK-MB raise in the serum. If you find these two with the symptoms of this, definitely it is MI only. So it is being related with the Hridaya Marma, and it is a seat of Sattva-Rajas Tamas, and it is a seat of Ojas, and it is a seat of Rasadhatu, and it is a seat of all the three doshas. So injury to this, definitely it is a vital one. It's a very fatal, very immediate death will occur, as the relation of these so many structures which are very essential to the body, the death will occur immediately. So the next one is Basti Marma. It is 1 in number. It is a Snayu Marma. It is a Snayu Marma, which is 4 angulars in nature, and it is a Sadhya Pranahar Marma, and it is Agneya predominant, which is a predominant is Agneya, where he has explained the location, and here he has considered how it looks like also, how the structure of a basti is also been mentioned here. Alpa Mamsa Shonito. Alpa Mamsa Shonito. There is a less Mamsa and Shonita. Rakta is related. Alpa Mamsa Shonito. Abhyantaradaha Katyam. Abhyantaradaha Katyam. Mutrashayor Bastir Nama. Mutrashayor Bastir Nama. It is made up of Alpa Mamsa and Shonita. With little Mamsa and Shonita have been involved in that. And its location is Katyam Abhyantaradaha, inside the Kati region. Means beyond the pelvic region. Inside the pelvic region. Deeply it is situated. Katyam Abhyantaradaha Katyam. Mutrashayo Bastir Namaha. Mutrashayo Bastir Namaha. Mutra Ashaya is called as Basti. Tatrapi Sadhyo Maranam. Injury to this causes immediate death. Injury to this causes immediate death. And in those days, it was sure injury to these structures till now, whatever we have seen, they are always fatal only, no doubt in that. Because at that time, they could not able to have a techniques or methods to prevent the blood loss, which causes the immediate death of the person in these Sadhya Pranahara Marmas. So Alpa Mamsa Shonita, it is made up of Alpa Mamsa Shonita. Make sure that if any disturbance in the Mamsa Dhatu will definitely affect this Basti. Mamsa and Shonita will definitely affect the Basti region. The last one, Nabhi. Frankly speaking, the Nabhi does not have any much role after the birth. But still, it has been considered as a Sadhya Pranahara Marma. It is 1 in number. It is a Sira Marma. It is 4 angulas. It is Sadhya Pranahara Marma. And it is a Agneya predominant. And this location, what he has explained is that Pakwa Amashayor Madhye. Pakwa Amashayor Madhye. Sira Prabhava. Sira Prabhava. Nabhi. Tatrapi Sadhyo Maranam. Very beautifully he has explained. Nabhi is situated between Pakwa Amashaya. It lies between the Pakwashaya and Amashaya. So there are many controversies regarding Pakvashya. What has to be considered Pakvashya? This one definition can able to understand where actually the Pakvashya is situated. Where Pakvashya is situated. Nabi is situated between Pakvashya and Amashya. Pakva Amashya or Madhya. But we try to relate Pakvashya with large intestine. Large intestine. And if it is the condition, if it has to be related with the large intestine does not lie in this location. In this location, it has not been present. It is present on the lateral sides of the flanks of the trunk. And it passes transversely towards the from liver to the spleen. And then again descends downwards. It is not lying between the Amashya and Nabi is not located in this region. If you consider the large intestine as a Pakvashya, will it fulfill the concept? No. The Pakvashya is situated below the Nabi, just below the Nabi region. And Nabi is located between Pakvashya and Amashya. If you look at as per modern region, as a region wise, below the Nabi region, we call it as hypogastric region. Hypogastric region. Below the umbilicus. Umbilical region, epigastric region, and hypogastric region. So hypogastric region, why is considered hypogastric? See here also, Pakva Amashya. Gastric is related with Amashya only. So it lies below the hypogastric region, lies below the umbilical region. And this is the place where you find the coils of ileum. The terminal parts of coils of ileum are present in the hypogastric region. And that is the place where Pakva food resides. Pakva food resides in the terminal part of the ileum. So by this you can able to understand where the location of Pakvashya. It is not the large intestines. Pakvashya is not the large intestines. It is the terminal part of the small intestines. A Nabi is situated between Pakva, Amashya or Madhya and Sira Prabhava. Definitely, it is the seat of origin for every Sira. And it is a landmark for division of the body into the central portion also of the trunk of the body, where it has been centrally attached. Nabi is centrally attached. And this Nabi is a landmark where the blood supply moves above the umbilical region in a different direction, below the umbilical region in a different direction. But when liver is been affected, it passes through this Nabi region only, where it has an anastomosis between the superior and inferior epigastric arteries. You have two arteries which lies in the rectus sheath. Superior epigastric artery and inferior epigastric arteries, which are getting anastomosed at the level of Nabi region. Means any obstruction in the liver region, the blood will be diverted from the inferior epigastric to the superior epigastric artery, where it goes on into the further circulation. So it's a landmark for the crossing of the emergency wise. This is the passage for the blood to move from the Nabi region. And structurally, if you look at into that, if you cut over or if you are taking incision over the Nabi region, it is there is no any relation with blood vessels at all. It is a tendon, or it is a tendon-like appearance only, because it's a modified tissues which has been formed, and it is devoid of blood supply. So as it is been affected or injured, it becomes very difficult to heal. That's why while doing any surgical procedures in the abdomen region, they never take in the line of the umbilical region, because that leads to the insertional herniation is the common site, as the fascia which has been present or the tendons which is present formed by the anterior abdominal muscles, as they are lacking a devoid of blood vessels, it will not heal properly, which may lead to the presence of insertional hernia is a common problem. So Nabhi Marma, which is a Sira Marma, has been considered as its original part, but you will not find much Siras except the superior and inferior epigastric arteries, which are passing around the or anastomos around the umbilical region. But deeper one, you have the inferior vena cava from above aorta, abdominal aorta has been related, inferior vena cava is related. Lot of blood vessels are connected in this liver at the posterior, deeper part. So injury to this marma can also cause damage over the inferior vena cava or abdominal aorta, or the more renal arteries also are being present at this level only. So it is very vital to be considered. Nabhi marma. All these structures has to be related with this. So common with the lakshanas, these are the main Sadhya Pranahara marmas which we saw. And injury wise, Sadhya Pranahara marma, when it is injured, as per Shushruta, he has considered when injury occurs to the Sadhya Pranahara marmas, Kalantar Pranahara marmas, what happens is considered as injury which is causing to the Sadhya Pranahara marmas. Indriya Ardeshwa, Sampraptir Manobuddhir Viparaya. Manobuddhir Viparaya. When injury occurs to this Sadhya Pranahara marmas, which is leading to this, any Sadhya Pranahara marmas, there it causes Indriya Ardeshus Sampraptir Manobuddhir Viparaya. Manobuddhir Viparaya. Manas and Buddhi will not be functioning in a right way when Indriya Ardeshu, when Indriyas have been affected. Indriyas have been affected. So injury to the Sadhya Pranahara marmas, there will be impact on the sense organs also. But they have not been directly connected sometimes. Like Hridaya marma, what relation it has got Indriyas? No. Guda marma, what Indriyas it has got relation? There is no direct connection as such. But Indriya Dvesha Sampraptir, Manobuddhir Vipareyaha. The Indriya Dash will be affected when these Sadhya Pranahara marmas have been injured, where that leads to the disturbance in the Buddhi and Manobuddhi Viparaya. Manas and Buddhi will be not functioning properly. Rujascha Vibidas Tivra. Rujascha Vibida Tivraha. Tivra pain, severe pains will be there. And also different types of pains. We cannot express. Bhavantya Asu Hare Hate. And that person who has been affected, Asu Hare, immediately he will be died. Because involvement of Mano and Buddhi and Indriyas have been damaged. Vijasa Vibidas Tivra, Tivra vena, severe pain will be there, which is a different types of pain will be there, not single one type. This is what occurs when Sadhya Pranahara marmas have been injured. You take about Adhipati, Shringataka, or Matrika, or Guda, Basti, or Nabi, or Hridaya, all these marmas, any marma which is injured, these are the symptoms what you find in. Means all the Sadhya Pranahara marmas have a connection with Indriyas. Even though at the time of injury, Indriyas are not been damaged, but when the structure is damaged, Indriya functions will be affected. That's what happening in this Sadhya Pranahara marma. The functions of these Indriyas have been affected, which causes Sampraptir Mano Buddhir Viparyaha. The mind and Buddhi will be started functioning in an abnormal way. And Samanya Marma Lakshanas, which have been explained in Ashtanga Sangraha, Samanya Lakshanam Punar Marmanam Pidite Rujot Patir Vishamam cha spandanam. There only pain will be there, what he has explained. And again he also explained, Deha prasuptir guruta, Deha prasuptir guruta. Heaviness is felt in that body. Sammoha, moha will be there. Sita kamita, as Rajoguna is aggravated in the body, immediately. This is found in immediately. Immediately after injury, you will find Sita kamitva, as Rajoguna is aggravated. We have seen in the sloka, prana, that is Soma Maruda Sedansi, Rajo Sato Tamamsi, Rajas is get aggravated. So when Rajas is aggravated, more Ushnatva will be there in the body, which requires the patient feels like have a Shita Kamitva. He will be having, like to take more Shita. Svedo, there will be more sweating will be there. You can find this symptom whenever there is damage to the blood. In severe blood loss, you will find severe sweating. Or even blood supply is blocked anywhere in part of your body, especially in the myocardial infarction or abdominal aorta has been blocked, severe sweating will be there. Immediately, sweating will cause. Why sweating causes at the time of blockage? There is a reason for that. Scientifically, there is a reason for that. And it also causes murcha. The person becomes faint. Vamihi. He also gets feeling of vomiting nature will be there. Swaso. Breathlessness will be there. Marma vidyasya lakshana. These are the common lakshanas when you find any marma is injured. So what happens actually in the marma bhigata? We have seen that Soma Maruda Dejansi, Rajo Sato Tamamsi, and Bhutatma. These are the main structures which is going to be injured. When any marma is affected, as these structures are situated in the marma, along with the marma vastus, Mamsa Sira, Snayu, Asti Sandhi, all these things will be affected. They become, structurally they will be damaged. That is, prana and marma vastus will be damaged. And when these are damaged, there causes Raktavaha Dhamanis will be damaged, Rasavaha Dhamanis will be damaged, and Samgnavaha Dhamanis also will be affected. And this leads to Vata Vridhi. And that leads to Vata Vridhi. When Vata Vridhi is initiated, Agni Guna Pradhana will be lost from the body. It starts living from the body. And Prana will be, Avalambhana will be, it starts moving in a wrong direction. And immediately death occurs. Immediate death occurs. When Sadyopranahara Marma is being injured, this is the pathophysiology which occurs.